Discovery, roger. Go for deploy.
2, 1,
0.
and liftoff. Liftoff. Americans return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
Da, 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 da. Welcome, everyone, to Toon Talk 2.0. We have a very serious episode.
Really serious this time. This time I'm not
Exceptionally
here to have
serious.
fun. This time is to put my head down and bow for all the people that have been living, saving our existence as superheroes. And they have to face the problems that you, Justin, Jake, and me handle every day. This is for all the superheroes.
I still maintain that if you kick Superman in the nuts, he's going down.
I really think that he's going down for sure. Why?
Jordan came up with an excellent explanation. He says, if you try to kick him in the nuts, he's not going down.
No. Okay. 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 So, we're going to establish it is not debatable that Superman's outer layer of skin is nigh indestructible to humans, right? What?
First of all, there's a big mistake that they call him the Man of Steel. He's not made of steel. Keep going, sorry.
But, okay, so we can also all agree that Superman's invulnerability is due mostly to his race's reaction to Earth's yellow sun, yes?
Yes.
His testicles do not see the light of day.
But it's not about his skin, it's about his cells. It basically he's a big solar battery, so he absorbs solar energy. So that's what gives him his power.
But so we're given to understand that all of Superman's soft and flexible tissue is also the consistency of steel.
I mean, well,
No,
yeah,
but it's not
demonstratively,
steel.
yeah.
It's impenetrable. That doesn't mean it's of steel. You cannot penetrate his skin. Let's say that they named him the Man of Steel because in one episode a long time ago, around the 30s, right? It's as strong as steel. First of all, the steel is not that fucking strong. We know
not comparatively, yeah.
So they call him that now. The best and the most important thing that I want you to consider is that Superman's greatest power is not speed, force, skin, it's control.
Yes.
Superman controls himself all the time. Now let me put this in your mind, Justin. If the guy that needs to fuck Luisa lose control for a second, will destroy her and kill her.
Not in like the fun metaphorical way.
No,
like he'll kill her.
If he hits somebody with his full force, he might kill somebody, and we know that he's a good guy. So he's controlling himself. Superman controls himself so much that in a bad moment that he's controlled everything, you can hit him in the nuts, and he will go, oh, for sure.
Okay, so here's my argument for why you can't. Okay, it's twofold, and Jordan helped me with this. But so I would make the argument that you could not kick Superman in the nuts because demonstratively, when people have tried to punch Superman in the jaw, they've broken their hands.
But there's bone there.
But presumably, if they went to kick him in the nuts, same deal.
Okay, I'm gonna rephrase then. Because if you kick him, you'll inadvertently hit his thigh, and yeah. So how about instead, if you sack tap Superman?
Well, I was gonna say, like, if Superman flew into a pole and groined himself, then okay. If he does it to himself, then yes.
So Superman can punch himself in the dick, is what you're saying.
Jordan put it if you hit a tree, you can't break the tree. But if the tree hits another tree, then the tree breaks the tree.
So let me ask you something. If you hit Superman in the nuts and he doesn't feel it, did you actually hit his nuts?
I mean, technically, yes. But...
I was just doing the tree thing because it's about the tree. Now, let me tell you something that the audience says on Reddit. Nope, in fact, Superman ligaments or muscles will create so much resistance that human will probably break their foot. He's been shot in the eye, and the bullet was only thin damage.
That's what I'm saying.
Says, if Cyborg decides to wear kryptonite boots, and kick Super in the balls,
then
probably.
it would work. Then it would work. Yes.
Well, I maintain you though. His eye.
Does Superman even have balls?
Yes, because he has a child. What do you think? They lay eggs?
I don't know.
Speaking of nothing, I forgot to mention at the outset, this podcast tonight is brought to you by our friends at the Spur of the Moment podcast and our friends at Molly Jewelry. More on them later, because it's the season of love and we're talking about kicking Superman in the nuts.
Is the season of love already?
Valentine's Day is coming up.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Okay, so to tie this back into Valentine's Day, so we've established that unless, in all likelihood, unless you have a kryptonite boot, his testicles are probably impervious to blunt force trauma, right?
I would assume, yeah.
What about just a strong grip? Like, let's say Lois has just had it with his shit one day.
Totally, because Superman controls himself to the point to become human. There's a comic that he actually goes and get a shave and a haircut because he controls his humanity. Part of his invulnerability, and I don't know if you realize that when he fights, he's never damaged his suit. Like, you get a gunshot and nothing happened to the suit.
Unless the person is super powered, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking normal. If you think about it, I shoot you, nothing happened to your skin, or your suit will break. The situation is that Superman has a aura around his whole body that is protecting him over the invulnerability. Now, he can control that so much that he actually can go to get a haircut. And he can go to get a shave. Superman controls means everything. If he's getting a haircut and his control is down and somebody grabs his nuts, he will feel it. Definitely.
Also, I mean, Doomsday in the comics has proven that if you punch Superman hard enough, he will inevitably take. So if you punched him really hard in the dick,
just really hard,
he'd probably go down like a sack of potatoes, crumble like a house of cards.
So do you remember when he broke up with Lisa, he was dating Wonder Woman in that universe?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that guy got his big mess. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, Wonder Woman is capable. In fact, as we saw in Justice League, both versions, she took a shot straight to the face from Superman. I mean, a punch, not that. That was a very poor choice of words. And it was not intentional.
Now,
it was a headbutt, not a punch. It was a headbutt. But yeah, I mean, she took it like a champ. And he wasn't holding back then either. She just went.
Somebody said 14 years ago, the problem is not that you can hit him or not. You're going to make him really, really mad.
That's fair.
That is what matters.
Fair. Yes, Haley, I know that Valentine's Day is not for 4 weeks, but you should shop now. Get your gifts now.
Candles. Yeah.
Our friends at Molly Jewelry have everything you need, but we'll talk about them later. It's not their turn yet. Right now, we're still talking about Superman's testicles.
Okay, let's go to the super sack.
You think he shaves those?
There's a comic book, probably. Yeah, I come on. It will be a super hairy situation.
He's got a long-term girlfriend? No.
What are you talking about, beard guy? You gotta shave the thing all the time.
He doesn't live in the Great White North. He lives in Kansas. It gets musty.
So there's one comic that Batman asks Superman, "Do you bleed?" And Superman says, "Yes. Thanks for asking." That means that his invulnerability is hard for everyone else. But Green Lantern can make a fucking huge hammer, hit him in the nuts, and Superman will be for sure.
Yeah, but that's not a mundane everyday problem. That's another superhero problem.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Superman, like when he was growing up, do you think he ever racked himself? He had to.
He did. He had to.
But here's the fun part. Here's the funny part of that, though, is when he was growing up, assuming that he would be invulnerable to like normal everyday things. Like, obviously, a superpowered being could hurt him, but like, so to keep his cover, if he ever did rack himself and it didn't hurt him at all, did he have to make a conscious effort to like act like he was in agony?
Yeah, actually,
probably. Yeah.
That's the show I'd like to watch. They'd be like, Mark, how are you? Like I mean, he falls from like a great distance and just right onto a fence post or something. He's just like, and then he remembers like,
Actually,
oh, I have to.
he does that.
Oh.
He goes that as Clark Kent. He's a wimp. He's a
Oh yeah,
geek. So uh, he does that a lot more than what people think because he needs to. His biggest fake thing is not the glasses. Is that
yeah,
he walks crunchy. Remember Christopher Reeve like this? He wears suits to size his bigger his size, so
yeah.
he looks like out of shape. Yeah, I
Plus,
mean,
they're easier to take off dramatically.
Here's the question: do you think Superman can stub his toe on like the side of like a desk?
See that I
oh,
would say no.
How?
Yeah, how's he going to manage that? He accidentally hits the corner of the desk and it breaks.
explodes.
Yeah,
Just takes a chunk out of it. Oh no, that's
he has to do to make up for
cheating.
that. He has to do like an Ace Ventura. He has to go. It's in the bone. It's in the bone.
What is the name of the new cartoon from HBO? Superman and
Oh,
it talks about
Sailor Moon Superman.
yeah, Superman. In the first scene, the poor guy is trying to wash his face and he broke the faucet. He breaks the door because control is everything, man. And remember that Superman got his powers when he was 4 years
Yeah.
old.
Well, not in that show.
So,
No.
no, not in that show.
No,
You
not in
tell
that
me
show. He
Jack
has to.
Wade Superman?
If you shock him in the balls when he was 3,
There you. Well, who would do that? That's just immoral.
Are the 3-year-olds?
I mean, a bully
Okay,
in,
fair.
in kindergarten,
Fair.
Yeah.
bullying
I forgot they have peers.
Yeah,
little Alexander.
Have you ever talked to a kid? They're mean.
Yeah, they are. They are. I have a memory of when I was in elementary school. It didn't happen to me, thank God, but I saw this happen. One kid just walked right up to another kid, just kicked him square in the nuts, and he just grabbed it and went down. No reason,
Oh,
completely unprovoked.
oh, that poor
Really?
kid.
Now
Yeah,
let's
I was
let's
just
take
like,
a little
that's
bit.
something that
So
happened.
I got a question. So Superman poops, and when he poops, what happened to the WC? If he farts really bad, what's gonna happen? Explode?
I mean, we're operating under the
Well,
assumption
no,
he poops like we do.
he eats Earth food. Yeah, I would think his digestive system
Yeah,
would
yeah,
be somewhat.
but hold on a second. If you go to the bathroom and you're having a bad day, right, and you fart really bad, and you do this the Jackson Pollock, right? We don't do anything, but Superman, bro, he
But that's
breathes
my
cold
point. That's
and
the point
heat.
I've been making from the first time since we started this discussion. His soft tissue is not invulnerable. It's very much the same. That's
So
my
that
point.
I'm going to a point. So probably he goes and poop in the fortress every time he gotta go.
I mean,
But we
he
don't know
has
how
the
often he
means.
poops. Maybe
Yeah,
he poops once a week.
maybe he's like a Mocklin.
Yeah,
He
it
just
goes like once a year.
clears it out once a year.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that be a learning curve as
Oh my god!
the only Kryptonian?
I'm reading something really weird.
Dad, what's happening?
Something really weird. If his digestive system works at super fast speed, he eats and needs to poop right away.
Oh, that'd be
I mean,
awful.
that would
Yeah,
be
but
awesome.
that goes to the point of Jake. Inside, he's kind of human. He's protected.
That's what I'm
But
saying. His soft
yeah,
tissue would remain soft tissue. That's
Well,
what I'm getting at.
Krypton, when they're on it, it sort of implies that, yeah, their biology operates the same as us. So theoretically, his biology it operates identically to ours, except for he just has superpowers.
Oh damn, yeah, I forgot. Some of the superpowers come from inside. But they're nonsensical.
But does he have super farts? He has super breath.
I mean, if he's got
imagine
super
that he's
breath, it's
sleeping
just the other end.
and
I would think so.
yeah, super fart. He will kill Lewis. That's what I'm saying. The
Or
guy's in agony all the time.
maybe his Kryptonian digestive system is so robust that it kills all the bacteria that cause the odor in the first place.
Okay, that's actually sounds good.
Or okay, or he's got such strong sphincter muscles that he's able to just cut that shit off before it becomes a problem. He's got such
Superman pinch.
I
I
mean, all the nerves in the anus are strong enough. But let me tell you something. When he poops, his poop is super hard.
Unless he has Indian food.
Okay, let's go to other superheroes.
So I had a fun thought today.
Yeah.
What would happen if Batman ever was a victim of identity theft?
From Batman or from Bruce Wayne?
Technically either, but Bruce Wayne would be more likely. But that's actually pretty cool because I'm ashamed to admit I would read this comment. Let's say Bruce Wayne's a victim of identity theft.
Okay.
Batman would track down the identity thief.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't be able to blow his cover, so he'd be in there. He's like, where's Bruce Wayne's credit card number?
I'm just picturing Batman showing like
number.
Where did you get the address and billing zip code? It's like, it's Wayne Manor.
Picture being like, are you Bruce Wayne? Yeah. No, you're not.
I'm looking for Bruce. I'm looking for Bruce Wayne.
I mean, it just makes me think of the Lego Batman movie where they're like, Batman doesn't pay taxes. It's just he feels like he doesn't pay taxes.
Oh, Bruce Wayne absolutely pays taxes.
You think Bruce Wayne? I don't know. He's giving me the vibe he's not paying taxes.
Oh no, he has to. He's subject under the law. But actually, fun fact, there's another thing. His tax return must be a nightmare.
I mean,
because he got somebody that does it.
But still, but his accountant still has to get information. I mean, you would. Okay. Imagine all the write-offs for the black budget of Wayne Enterprises R&D department, especially if you're going with like the Nolan Batman trilogy. It's like
I was gonna tell you. Remember that in the first one, the guy find mistakes.
Yeah,
and he says you want to blackmail a guy that kills.
Yeah, and he's basically just like, and what was this write-off in March for $1.3 trillion? It's just blacked out. What was that? You don't need to know. Well, actually, sir, I do. You're being audited by the IRS. I actually do need to know.
That's so funny.
Sir, why is there just like this bill for latex? So I'm not judging. There's just a massive bill for latex. Why is this? Why is any of this, sir?
And what's this bulk shipment that's labeled 4,000 rubber nipples? Oh, Max is frozen again. He's very.
It's really,
you're good.
It's too funny. It's too funny what you guys say.
Being Bruce Wayne must be kind of rough. But like we already
millionaire is hard.
But if you think about it, being any kind of superhero is really hard because they can have a normal life. They barely sleep. They don't have money unless you're Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne. They don't, and they don't have time to work.
Actually, one of the things I liked about Invincible is they actually, which other ones have touched on it, but Invincible flat out says it. Part of the revenue for War Woman? That's her name?
Yeah.
Is that her name in Invincible? Part of her company's revenue is War Woman merchandise. And it's kind of it's like, you know what though? That's legit because if you're a superhero, you should absolutely, for both practical and ethical reasons, because it's like if you're being paid for your own brand's merchandise, then you're not necessarily beholden. You don't need to be beholden to anybody for money, if that makes sense. Like, because you gotta live.
That makes sense, but in the audiobook of Green Lantern, he's in the Justice League when they just accepting Guy Rayner, and he asked, so how you do money, right? He actually asked that, and he said, why don't we sell the news to the information to the news, or charge for the T-shirts? And then he thinks for himself, I don't see myself looking Superman suing somebody because he's using his logo to make money. But however, like he said, let me just finish. And he says, but I know that nobody's doing copyright against the Batman. Nobody mentions the Batman.
Yeah. That's, if you've ever played the PS4 Spider-Man, there's a mechanic in that where you collect little collectibles and they all have a backstory. And one of them is a little Spider-Man doll that he's like, it's a shame I couldn't sell these, but in order to sell them, I'd have to reveal who I am in order to legally collect money on this from a merchandising standpoint, so I couldn't actually do it.
That's crazy. He's supposed to just open Spider-Man LLC and open it over whatever it's under another. Come on, he can just go and ask Lex Luthor how to do it, man. Come on.
Well, technically, what he would have to get someone he trusted to
A
open the
lawyer,
company for him.
just a lawyer.
I mean, yeah,
Just
pay him in
lawyer.
cash. Pay him in cash. Yeah.
I mean, just a lawyer. Yeah, that's fine.
Another problem that Spider-Man pointed out. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that Ultimate Spider-Man show, but it's one of my all-time favorite cutaways of all time. Where Spider-Man's like his suit gets torn. He's like, "Hey, do you think they make these suits cheap? Like I have to get these fixed." And it cuts to him, and he's just sewing it back together himself. And he looks up at the camera. He's like, "What?"
You know,
yeah.
do you guys remember when he used after Secret Wars, the first one that he goes go back to Earth with the Venom suit, and then Reed Richards take him away, and he goes back to his apartment and he put all his old red and blue one, and he says, "Oh, I missed them, but I remember how badly they stink after I used them because they're sweaty and this. I mean, think about the sweat of a superhero saving somebody at night.
Oh, it'd be gnarly.
Peter Parker, he's poor as fuck. Peter Parker he got money twice in his life. When he was an Avenger, and when he retired for being Spider-Man, he was working the university. That's it. He doesn't have money.
Yeah. Well, Peter Parker didn't have the foresight to, invest in his retirement prior to getting a superpower. So I mean that's on him. Yeah. Because getting bitten by a radioactive spider and becoming a crime fighter is totally something that you can assume would happen.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Do you guys think in Gotham, I always say this, do you think there's like a Scared Straight style program of like criminals being like, hey, you don't want to commit crimes because the Batman will show up and break your collarbone?
Maybe for the smaller ones, but Scared Straight would be very effective at Arkham.
I'm just saying, I was breaking into some guy's car, and then the Batman showed up and just broke my wrist. I don't know why he did it. I gave up.
No, yeah, I totally agree with you. Part of the problems that I research about being a superhero is that they constantly be sued by people by battery. Why? Because it's funny because society tells us to solve things by talking, right, and following the rules. But every superhero throw the fist first and then ask questions.
That's not actually true, and it actually touches on something that I say a lot of the time. So a lot of that stuff, like diplomacy and all that stuff, and talking things out, is true and should be done. But when you say that, you're making the assumption that the other party is a reasonable person.
Yeah, and if someone you don't go and argue and hit somebody right from the bat like every superhero.
They normally don't. They usually say, "Stop what you're doing and come quietly." And
no,
then
what
when
are you talking
inevitably
about? I guarantee you that
Batman.
every comic book.
Not Batman.
Yeah, Batman, Thor.
Okay, Thor
Spider-Man,
is.
I give you that.
Superman too.
Superman, he just go and hit, and then he's like, "What are you doing?" Why I say that? Every amalgam comic between DC and Marvel, they start with a fight.
Oh,
and then they become friends.
Fighting is what sells.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that there's a saying in Mexico that it goes, why we need to talk things out if we can kick each other ass.
Well, because unless you have Superman's testicles, then you probably don't want to run that risk. But
you know what I'm saying? That's how you say it.
I mean, to be fair, you are quite a bit ballsier when you know that a nut shot will do nothing to you. But it is time to tell you about our first sponsor of the evening. Justin, would you care to tell everyone a little bit about what they can expect on the Spur of the Moment podcast and when they should check it out?
Well, we don't spend a great deal of time talking about whether or not Superman could take a shot to the nuts, but we do something that's awfully similar. We talk about the news week to week. We do a little bit of the news, and then we pick a topic and we talk about that. So this week we're talking about clones and cloning. I'm gonna watch that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, The Sixth Day.
Oh, it's
Jordan's
good.
Gonna watch Multiplicity. Yeah, and we do jokes. We do improv. Sometimes people come out and they hang out with us. Jay sometimes comes out and hangs out with us. And our day switches. Right now we're on Saturdays. We're moving to Saturdays for a bit. It's generally on the weekend, around 11 a.m. if we can help it.
So does the cloning topic have anything to do with that new Robert Pattinson movie coming out?
No, it was just an excuse to watch The Sixth Day. I just wanted to watch that, and I needed a reason to.
Well, because I'm ashamed to admit this, but as a documented
You're
Robert
referring
Pattinson,
to you're referring to Mickey 17.
Mickey
Obviously.
17,
Yeah?
yes.
Yeah.
As a documented Robert Pattinson hater, I really want to see that movie. It looks hilarious.
Yeah, man. I was disappointed it wasn't coming out, so I decided into this. It's not. I mean, it's not just cloning. I also watched The One with Jet Li this week, which I quite enjoyed that. It's funny. There's a body of called the if you ever watched Loki, it's called the MVA, the Multiverse Variance Authority. If you're familiar with the TVA from Marvel.
I actually don't.
No? Oh, fair enough. No. I was just like, wow, this feels derivative. But it came out in 2001, so it's not. Also, I also watched The Adventures of Pluto Nash this week, which I was shocked to find out involved cloning.
I didn't remember Pluto Nash, but yeah, that's funny.
I was surprised that I didn't hate it, but it's a poorly received movie.
Oh gosh. Well, everyone, check out the Spur of the Moment podcast. They have a good time. It's similar to this, but less genital reference, generally speaking.
Yeah, I mean, not much less. There is the
It's
occasional
there.
references.
It's there. I mean, because sometimes it's just right there.
Come on,
Right?
everybody knows that is a copycat from Toontalk, but we love you guys. That's fine. We're allowed.
It's true. It's true. We are in fact. And we did confirm last week that because I've gotten a lot of comments lately that are they clones? Is he talking to the same guy? Like on like multiple videos. So
okay, it's time to tell the truth. Jake is pre-recorded, and actually every week Justin shave and becomes Jake. I shave and I become Jordan. So
it's true.
We're the same.
Talking about cloning.
We confirmed that we were clones, but we would not confirm whether or not I was a malformed clone of Jordan, or if Jordan's the good-looking clone of me.
Well, if you're like the Mahler twins, you don't actually know.
You don't know. And yeah, once you find out, you eliminate the one who knows.
Well, but even then, you don't know.
You don't know for sure. That is true.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure
which one's real. Right? You know
yeah.
You guys are nerds.
Acutely aware.
Let's talk about problems, and not specific, general problems about the Hulk. Like,
but the fact that he can't do it without turning into the Hulk, that just seems like a bad time.
That the thing is that I don't know if you guys remember the Edward Norton Hulk, right?
I do.
He can't even have sex.
Yes, I was beating around the bush, but you just went right for it. Yeah,
go on.
That's what I was going getting at.
He can't get excited.
He can't beat around the bush either.
He could.
I mean, he can, but in the very literal sense.
That's about all he can do, in fact.
Now, why is that though? Because that really doesn't make sense. Because I thought it was an anger thing, but is it like a heart rate thing?
In that movie, they make the case the heart.
It's a heart rate thing.
It's a heart rate thing. Yeah.
So just practice tantra. Like, come on, don't be
lazy.
That's
what he does.
Yeah,
that's what he does in the whole movie.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Apparently, he can't when he's having sex. He can't do it.
He just needs more practice.
You guys remember something? I remember the movie from Ben Stiller, Mystery Man.
I love that movie.
I enjoy that movie. Yeah.
That guy, the guy that dies at the beginning, is the best example of what a real superhero must be. He got a T-shirt with sponsors everywhere, a jacket, and that's how it's supposed to be. Because now that I just finished the Superman and Louis show, and I want to talk about it later. But that show is so good because that's how it actually would be. You guys ever play superhero?
I mean, yeah.
Just as a kid, yeah.
No.
With like the Waffler or like.
No, there's a
Dane Cook, by the way.
It's called Superheroes. No, it's a role-playing game that is called Superheroes, and the premise of this role-playing game is that a lot of people, like in Mystery Man, has powers, and you have a guy like Superman that is actually I don't know, dirt remover as a contractor at day, and at night he's a superhero. Or a guy that is super fast is like a DoorDash delivery. And you gotta play and you have powers. You get powers by rolling dice. So you get random powers. Um, and the movie Mystery Man is based in that game. I mean,
No, no, it's from the Flaming Carrot comics.
Oh, that I did know.
And that is based in that. No, I'm sure. I read about it a long time ago because I was playing that role playing game a lot. How old is that movie? 30 years?
No, not the movie. The comics go back to the 80s.
Oh well, like I say, I don't know what is the connection, but I know that they're related in a way.
Oh, I'm sure they are, but God, Mystery Men is such a hilarious. I love that, and a lot of people hate it, and I don't understand why. I think they don't understand that it's supposed to be a comedy. I really do think that because it's like, well, yeah, well, like William H. Macy, deadpan delivering, Lucille.
Wait.
God gave me a gift. I shovel well. I shovel very well.
Is that not supposed to be a comedy? Because that movie
it is.
Comedy.
Yeah, it's a comedy, but I think some people don't understand that, and that's partially the problem of the marketing because they marketed it like a straight superhero movie, which makes the joke awesome. But I can see how that would turn some people off, maybe. But they're so funny. Like
the guy that is invisible, that is just invisible when nobody's looking.
Yeah,
it's hilarious, dude. Yeah,
that movie, I think. Sorry, go on, Jay.
I was just gonna say the bit where they're trashing the limo and Mr. Furious just tries to get the emblem. He just tries to peel the emblem off.
That's funny.
I don't see anybody thinking that it's not a comedy. It's like saying like
I don't
Thunder.
see how. I don't see how. What is the name of
Thunder? The Thunder thing that I was watching yesterday. Robert Downey Jr. is black.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh, Tropic Thunder.
It was like believing that
people misunderstood. People misunderstood that movie too.
Yeah. Wow. My thing with the Mystery Man, I find it funnier now because of how superheroes are so like entrenched in pop culture that it feels like a proactive parody of a thing that hadn't really been mainstreamified yet. If that makes any sense.
Certainly not to a comparable degree. No. And then
no.
Trying to think the other. I mean, there's so many great things in that movie. It's hilarious from beginning to end.
I love how everyone thinks that All-Star came from Shrek, but it came from Mystery Man.
Nope, it's in the end credits of Mystery Man, year 2000, bitches.
The music video is a promotion for that movie.
It is.
That's why the Waffler shows up in that music video. I am the Waffler.
I am the Waffler. And with my griddle of justice, I bash the enemy in the head, or I burn them like so.
Honestly, the most realistic version of superheroes in that is honestly Kick-Ass 2, where you've got just the random people who just dress up in form and just like patrol the streets, beating that. There are actually people out there like that.
I was going to say that's a real thing. That's one of my recommendations. Touches on that, but yeah, that's a real thing that happens.
That is an absolutely real thing. They just dress up like we're superheroes.
So I got another superhero question. When the Thing goes to the bathroom, he poops rocks?
Again, that presupposes that his internal organs are rocks, which means
I
don't know. Do we know? There's a comic book that they Silver try to rip them, and everything is rocks.
There's other comics where you see underneath the rocks, and you see he does have muscle and sinew and all that shit.
Yeah, but when that's what I thought. But when they try to rip it, right? You can see that there's rocks on the rocks on the rocks.
Well, because we know that comic book writers are always consistent and pay attention to the lore that came before them without fail.
It's true.
Yeah. They never change or get it wrong or redo
if anyone
continuity.
Is consistent over the years, it is comic book writers. I cannot dispute that.
For sure. Tell you what, here's a problem. And it has to do with one of my favorite superheroes, which is funny because we keep going to DC. But you brought up the Hulk and the thing, and Spider-Man. But
sorry.
So Captain Marvel, and I don't mean Marvel Captain Marvel, I mean Shazam Captain Marvel. Who would kick the shit out of Marvel Captain Marvel? I said it.
First of all, you gotta pronounce correctly. It's Marvel, not Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel against Captain Marvel.
Okay, Captain Marvel would kick the shit out of Captain Marvel.
Well, I mean, okay, not to be pedantic, Captain Marvel is actually the guy. She is technically Captain Marvel, but that was after Marvel took the Captain Marvel name from poor Shazam, and they were like, "No, we have Captain Marvel." So I think
you are correct, but I don't recognize Captain Marvel as an existing comic they just created for the movies. I don't give a damn. I just believe in Captain Marvel. I don't even.
I mean that's fair. He got kind of screwed in that
She's
movie.
hot though. She's good looking.
No, she's not.
Anyway, just to complete the thing, I was looking at Reddit, and the thing everybody says, well, he shed bricks.
I mean, it does make sense that a rock man would have excrement the consistency of clay, so once it dries, yeah. So if he ever stops the superhero thing, he could be an amazing bricklayer.
It's true.
Yeah,
I mean, here's a question. Here's a question about Mr. Fantastic. Do you think he ever,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, like second thing after he reached his arm, he went.
Probably he feel a tingle down there. He's like, "Oh, I can do it with my arm."
It's like literally second thing he did once he realized he had stretchy powers.
Civil War, not the movie, the comic. At the end, when Sue Richard leave him because she doesn't believe in the situation with Tony Stark and goes with Captain America, she wrote him a letter, and in the letter says, "I will never complain the sex because the sex with you, Mr. Elastic, is fantastic." That's what she said. So obviously,
so he's elastic and fantastic.
He's fantastic because he's elastic.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh.
Fantastic and elastic.
So yes, bringing back to my Captain Marvel point. So it's established in the lore that he has the wisdom of Solomon when he's transformed, but Billy Batson is a child. So keeping that under control would be really difficult, I would think, for a child. And to know that, like, if any, bigger, older kids were, which I know Billy Batson's kind of a badass kid, but just assuming anyone older than him bullying him to resist that temptation to turn into a literal magic man that can throw lightning at him.
I'm not familiar. That's a character that I cannot believe never made it as a cartoon. Like they never made that that because I'm just not familiar enough to be like, is that
fun fact? Fun fact. There was a television series that actually predates the Superman television series. Captain Marvel.
The live action one?
Mm-hmm.
I'm familiar with it. And
he kind of made it as a cartoon. He's a character done very well in Young Justice, Captain Marvel is, but also he's in various. But yeah, you're right. He's never been the star of his own animated series, so far as I'm aware.
No, like I'm thinking of like a Bruce Timm Batman the animated series, Superman, kind of like 2000s era show. I can't believe they never piloted for this. It must be because of great. Well, I'm guessing it must be because of its the rights nightmare it went through over the years, going from fall to fall.
Yeah, by the time those Bruce Timm television series had started, Captain Marvel as a property had, or Shazam rather, because for legal reasons they have to publish the comics as Shazam, but they can refer to him as Captain Marvel in universe.
But they don't. They tend to avoid.
Well, no, they do. It depends, because, like, for example, in Young Justice, he's always referred to as Captain Marvel. But in some of the later DC animated movies, they flat out call him Shazam. So I'm not sure what the specific legalities are. I know that they tried to do a rebrand and it failed.
Yeah, in the comics he was Shazam for the longest time.
Yeah, I hate Shazam as a name. I don't like it.
Everyone pointed out how stupid it was that he was a superhero who couldn't say his own name. It's really dumb.
I get why you like Shazam, and I get that maybe, but I don't like him. Too boring.
Why don't you like it? It's not boring. It's awesome.
Boring. First of all,
dude, he's the perfect superhero.
What are you talking about?
No, listen.
He's lame, dude. He's a nerd inside being a nerd.
Well, he's not a nerd
Billy
though.
Batson.
I
Billy
think
Batson, I will pick on him every day of my life.
to be fair, it sort of sounds like you're thinking of, and the movies do kind of a bad job. Look, I like the first one, but I mean, Zachary Levi is terrible as Shazam. He's
He
not very
really
good.
is. I didn't care for that.
He's more immature than Billy is when he's a kid. So it's just the character's not being accurately adapted or well adapted. I think if we got a good adaptation of Shazam, where Shazam was accurately adapted, I think maybe your opinion might be different.
Yeah, because the movies did not. They're probably my least favorite version of the character. And the second one was just flat out bad. And the first one, I feel like, from my perspective, it was okay, but they ruined it by bringing in the Marvel family at the end of the first movie.
Yeah.
I felt like they ruined it.
That's right out of the comics. To be fair,
I mean, yeah, but it's not something that happens at the end of the first issue. Like
but to defend that movie, that specific version of the Marvel family is based off of a particular specific run, which is about them all being super family. So
no, I get that. My issue isn't that they did it. My issue is that they did it in the first movie.
Oh, okay. No,
that's my issue. No, because I actually like the idea. I like the idea behind the Marvel family. I get it, but which, by the way, the gnarliest version of that is in the anime movie Flashpoint Paradox, where in the alternate reality, all the Shazam kids join together to create Captain Marvel.
It's like a Captain Planet style.
It's the same character, but they all join together, and then when Wonder Woman uses the lasso of truth to get him to say how to disperse the power, and then he says the name, and then she just offs a bunch of kids. It's fucking gnarly, dude.
Yeah, it's brutal.
No, sorry guys, I don't like it at all. I don't like him at all.
I understand what you mean. He's kind of in the sense that, like, when you're selling superheroes to kids, what's a better superhero than a superhero that you can turn into?
He's a kid who can turn into a superhero.
Like personally, my favorite Power Ranger is the Blue Ranger from the Turbo season because he was blue and his name was Justin. When I was like 8 years old, the fact that there was a Power Ranger with the same name as me and was my favorite color was rad. So he's my favorite. Like, everyone hates that character to death. If you ask a Power Rangers fan, they hate that character.
I got a confession to make, guys.
You actually love Captain Marvel?
Oh, no. I got a confession to make. I know it's going to be hard for you, but I never seen a Power Ranger episode because when that was on air, I was having sex already, you fucking nerds.
So, I mean, that's totally fair.
I mean, to be fair, we were a touch young for that.
When it was on air. I was like 6 or 7, so I was like in the target demographic.
Yeah, well, we were right smack dab in the target demographic for that show.
How old you were when the last season of Power Rangers were like the last one
of the first series? Because technically they're still going.
No, the first one, the one.
The very first one. How old? Sorry, how old was that?
Yeah.
When it started.
When it finished.
When it finished, the original series probably 7 or 8.
Okay, thank you, Jake.
What year did it end? Because it started when I was 8, and did the original series go for 3 seasons?
4 seasons.
But the original season's 3 seasons. But like
okay, yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense. So I would have been 10 or 11. Yeah.
I mean, I stopped. I stopped watching Power Rangers at a consistent level
when you discovered your pee-pee.
No, when I was like 12
you haven't discovered it yet.
He just looked at it and went, "Fuck!"
Right? No, I was like 13 or 14 when I stopped watching it.
I stopped watching when Zeo came out, and I was like, "These aren't the same Rangers. I'm not interested."
I was into it all the way up until when they went to space.
And then you were like, "Fuck that! This is too Star Trek."
You guys, I don't know if you can correct me if I'm wrong. The first 3 seasons, the first 2 years, they actually were just doubling the voice in English, and it was the original shooting from Japan.
Oh, they all are for any scenes that they're in costume. Well,
Yeah.
for the most part, actually, when the White Ranger came around, I know this because of Nick from over at the Goosebumps crew, because he's also a massive Power Rangers guy. But that Ranger is actually from a different series than the one. So a lot of those scenes where all
Oh.
the Rangers are together, those were actually shot in the States in
Yeah, that's
costume
original
with.
States footage.
But before
But
that, it was
yeah,
just double and taking the mask and it's using.
correct. But even when the Green Ranger's introduced, you can actually tell because in the original Japanese footage, the Green Ranger shield is like really high quality looking. Like it's not real metal, but it looks like it could be metal. And then the stuff they shot in the States, it's like this. It looks like
It's
a bad
noticeably different.
Halloween costume because it's obviously bad.
They
Uh,
also, at a certain point, ran out of the original. Like they had to go back and shoot new footage to like make new episodes, and you
yep.
can tell when that happens too because they start to really recycle footage.
Yeah. Do you remember the moment? And I'll never forget it because I remember when I was a kid, it was so cool, and it's so stupid to think it's cool when when the Green Ranger gives the Red Ranger his shield, we were like, "What? He can take it off?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just so
You're
But
like, oh.
so I want to get back a little bit to the topic of this show. Real problems with real heroes. What problems
hey, they're
Power
superheroes.
Rangers would face?
They're
No, that was
teenagers.
saying. What problems you will face being Power Rangers and
Well, okay,
Uh,
so imagine a more adult themed Power Ranger. No, that's just stupid on its face. Um,
no, if you're pink. Anyway, keep
well,
going.
I mean, they're all a bunch of nerdy kids, so they probably don't have to worry about somebody getting pregnant on the job. But
I mean,
I
that's the
Well,
suppose,
thing. In the original Power Rangers, I mean, they all teach martial arts classes, take martial arts classes. They all volunteer and are
thanks
superheroes,
God I made them.
and have go to high school and
they're all honor
have keep up their
students. Yeah.
grades. Thank you, honor students. That's the word I'm looking for.
Oh
They don't
my
have the
God,
time for
thanks
premarital
God.
sex. That was my point.
They have
Why you
neither
are
the
going to
time
sex
or
right away?
motivation.
The name of the show is Real Problems for Superheroes. I never said sexual problems. I'm asking what problems. You guys get your fucking head off the gutter.
Well,
But my
well,
point is,
People
they
well,
don't
got
have
sex.
time for problems.
well. One time, one of the Rangers' dolls gets turned into a monster, so that happened, I suppose.
Okay,
That is
Billy's
you know
true.
what? Forget about the Power Rangers. Let me throw
Billy's
you a question, and I want an answer.
Billy's flying car
No, no,
theoretically
no, no,
broke
no, no.
down for years.
Let's remember real people problems. Imagine Spider-Man in real life. How long could he last being a vigilante before he getting busted or getting killed in
In the
real
real
life?
world,
Spider-Man.
I mean,
huh?
How long
you
could
would
he
think
last on his vigilante career before he's getting busted or getting killed?
because of the spider sense, highly unlikely actually.
Yeah, that's why my thing
I
with
mean,
my okay.
you really can't shoot him because of the
Yeah, he's
spider sense,
difficult.
and you certainly can't stab him because of the spider sense. So, like,
Okay,
and certainly like you can't like legislate him out of New York. Like that's
because
not gonna happen,
you have to know who he is.
right?
Dark Dinskester says, honestly, the amount of times Potter has been beating the shit out of him, I'm surprised the cops haven't found out who's he's basing the DNA that he could leave behind everywhere.
But okay, so here's the common misconception with DNA though is they don't have a registry of people's DNA. So as long as Peter Parker never commits a crime and has his DNA entered into the registry, they would have no
And
idea.
Flagley Indifference says they wouldn't have Peter's DNA on file unless he's been arrested in something.
Yeah.
However, somebody like Lightstream Deer 7830 says they could have familiar DNA because his uncle died in a murder.
That's assuming they took a DNA sample though. They wouldn't have needed to.
I'm just saying, we're assuming a lot of things.
But okay, I will support you because I would assume that depending on the version of Peter Parker you're snagging, if you're snagging that he's the young hot adult version of Peter Parker who teaches a class, I have to assume as a teacher that he would have to have fingerprints on file
Fingerprints, but not
No.
DNA. And
or
no, we wouldn't.
DNA.
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Now,
No.
now, Lord Typo number zero. Now we have a lot of people. says, but the DNA would have been mutated for that point. He's got a point there.
Right, but they still have to have a reference.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Oh, like, don't get me wrong. If they had Peter Parker's DNA, it would be immediately clear. Like, on the comparison, because you're right, it would be mutated, so it would be pretty easy to match.
So check this out. Siggy says, I remember in the 90s, when I was in elementary school, there was a program called DNA Lifeline, where they came out of school and encouraged parents with these kids to collect DNA from those kids to keep them in case they went missing. I remember our local PD also had a volunteer submission system where it helps prevent archives to samples. They claim it was only will be searched missing children cases. And I'll bet a lot of parents were submitted kids' DNA. Not sure what happened in New York City as well, or the New York PD also set up a similar collection of data. So there's a possibility.
There's a possibility. I'm just saying it's not outright stated. And you would think in the comics, if they had it, they'd potentially use it. Like, you wouldn't assume that you would have his DNA on file unless he was a felon.
Other Breach 8892 says, give me a break. If that were real, Peter Parker would have 7 NBA championship rings, Nike endorsement, serial box covers. People would probably love to ripe old age doing commentary on TNT.
Well, and he would also be WWE champion.
Yeah, totally.
Because he would have
like that.
He would have gotten the accolade he deserved for beating Bonesaw.
Here's a question. How much do you think Wolverine weighs? And I know that we see him fly in the movies. How much does he weigh? And I know we see him fly.
I know how much it weighs in kilograms, actually.
How much does he weigh in a kilogram? Well, I was just going to say, you would think he'd be too heavy to fly.
See, yeah. I have a problem with Wolverine's canon weight because it doesn't make sense. Because it's 300 some odd pounds.
It's 300 pounds. Wolverine is 300 pounds.
But
wouldn't he weigh way more with all that metal inside of him?
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
Without the adamantium, he weighs 195 pounds because he's 5'1".
Okay, fair.
Okay, here's the problem with that, though. His skeleton isn't adamantium. It's laced with adamantium. It's not going to add that much weight. It's just not.
Dude, even
so, like 300 pounds. Okay, 300 pounds, yeah.
It's a lot.
But just what we see him do in the comics doesn't make sense that he would weigh 300 pounds.
No, but 300 pounds compacted in 5'1", that's when Colossus throw him, it's a bullet. That's what I'm saying, work. If Colossus do it when he jumps, but when Colossus do it, I think it is,
I just think that's
what was the other question?
300 seems really hefty for a guy his size.
Not give Bernie a second to answer it, and then just yell at him.
Sorry. Thing went off. Sorry. Sorry, that was my bad. My thing just went off for some reason. Go on.
Well, let's talk about Wolverine problems. When he goes to the bathroom, what if a little claw goes out when he's cleaning his poop? Ouch.
It just heals.
It just heals.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt.
Well, sure, but I mean, but Deadpool establishes, Deadpool establishes too that when you have that kind of healing factor, eventually your pain tolerance goes way up. So, like,
that's true.
It's gonna hurt, but to Wolverine, nicking the old keister would probably feel like us popping a zit by comparison. Like, it's just not that big of a deal.
But this way, when his claws like eject out of his skin, he doesn't really react to that.
Not anymore. Now, granted that.
Well, he doesn't react, but it hurts.
Yeah, but that's what we're saying. The pain tolerance is so high, and especially after Xavier hooked him up with the tracks, where they come out and miss bone.
Is
the
that
pain
what
goes
the
down.
Things in the gloves do?
Yeah, because technically, canonically speaking, before he has those, the claws aren't like a straight retraction the same place. So sometimes it'll go through and they'll come out crooked.
But they cut his skin and the gloves all the time. That's when he got the metal guide over there.
Yeah, because they guide the claw out so that it doesn't like go through his knuckle, come out all
I
janky.
legitimately didn't know that. I just learned that. That's
I
interesting.
never
I had no
liked
idea.
Wolverine in the movies. I got used to it after 18 years, but I never liked him in the movies.
See, I always liked Wolverine in the movie. I assume you're talking about the live action
Like,
Hugh Jackman. That's
yeah,
the
yeah, no, Hugh Jackman is good and
Love Jackman.
amazing, and he did good, but he's too tall. One, second, he's not as buff. Yeah, don't do that on me because I see you complain about little things about life. So don't do that on me. Don't go. I just don't think that he was the perfect. I like him,
well.
and I got used to it after 18 years. Like Deadpool is perfect. Superman was okay. Now the new one is perfect for me. So I like the Superman.
Well, we
Superman from
haven't.
Superman and Lewis is a perfect Superman.
Oh,
Okay,
he's
I'll give
really
you that. I'll
good.
give you that. I'll give you that. I haven't even seen the show, and I took one look at that dude in the trailer, and I was like, yeah,
Bro,
I get it.
I'm gonna go deeper on that because I finished it. Wow, wow, wow. It's like, remember how many times we complained that you have all the means to do things right and they fuck it up? They have all the means here and they took care. You need to be a super huge fan to like this show. Why? Because he looks like the Superman from the comics, the jaw, the beard. He looks like Clark Kent is like in the comics. And you need to know exactly what happened in the other universes so you understand this universe. Because even Louis' dad, General Lane, says, I've been in many universes, and in many universes there's other superheroes, but Superman is always the good guy. He's always come in front of all situations. So they make clear that this is a different universe all the time, and it's so well done. I started watching it, Justin, and I just saying that because Jake, I told him that. I started watching and I finished the 4 seasons in a week.
Oh
It
wow.
was like watching Superman movie, Eternal, bro. It was fantastic. The fights, they look like a movie. They don't look like a TV show.
Yeah,
When
that show
dudes
got
they
like
come
a
in facing you, it's like, oh,
yeah, that show did a lot with its budget, like to a kind of an impressive degree. I mean, I loved him ever since he showed up on Supergirl, and
yeah.
I remember being like, hey, DC movies, do that, like just do that,
Well,
and
CW is way better than the movies.
then
Same with
Jordan
Flash.
started watching it, and he was like, Justin, I'm watching Supergirl. The movies should just do that. Just
Yeah,
just do that. I was like, yeah, just do that.
Yeah,
yeah.
basically. So what you're saying is it's perfect. Is what you're getting at.
He's not. I've heard it's really.
I
I
will
saw
say
clips of the
nine
finale. It's really good.
9 point. He didn't like the finale. I think that was a marvelous thing.
No. I said I've seen clips from the finale. It's really good. Like it's really
Okay,
good.
Okay,
the
I'm doing a
I will
bit.
give
So
him. I will give him a qualification if you want me to. But Superman and Lois in TV shows that is different, I will give him a 9. The
okay,
writing
well,
is really good. Go
okay,
ahead.
well, I'm doing a bit. So can you just say it was perfect?
It's perfect.
Well, you know what else is perfect, guys? Listen,
What?
fellas. Listen, fellas, because I know the fellas and Haley are watching this, and Haley's only watching this because she loves us for some reason. But fellas, listen, I'm being real with you right now. We're having a lot of fun with kicking Superman places, extrapolating how much pain a sliced buttock would be in the case of Wolverine. But in all seriousness, I mentioned it before, guys. Valentine's Day is coming, whether you like it or not. And if you have that special lady or fella in your life, no judgment here at Toon Talk 2.0. Listen, the greatest gift that will get you in where you want to be or out of the doghouse if you're stupid enough to get there is jewelry. But jewelry is expensive until our friends at Molly Jewelry came and helped us out. So here's the thing, guys. Molly Jewelry has everything you could possibly want and it's all extremely affordable, including the latest craze, moissanite. I don't know if you guys are familiar with moissanite. It's basically a gemstone that looks really, really similar to diamond. It's not, and they don't pretend it is, but it's got a very similar look, especially with some more of the traditional cuts. And Molly Jewelry's got plenty, and as you can see by these prices, you can get some really, really good jewelry. Like that's a 2-carat oval moissanite. That's
Nice.
that's a large stone. They also have my personal favorite. They have alexandrite. I don't know if you guys are familiar with alexandrite. It is an actual, legitimately color changing stone. It appears green in sunlight and red by candlelight, is what they call it, and it actually
Like
does
kryptonite.
change. Not really, but
Okay, I'm doing a beat too, right? Right?
okay, there you
Okay.
can kind of see it. That's not quite as red as it gets. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Real alexandrite is extremely, I shouldn't even say real. Natural alexandrite is extremely rare. These are lab-grown stones, but they are alexandrite. They are real stones. They're just created in a laboratory, just like moissanite. Moissanite is a real stone. It's just created in a lab, but it still has the brilliance. It is still a real stone. And most importantly, you get a high quality piece of jewelry and it saves you money. Now, our friends at Molly Jewelry have set you up to succeed because not only do they have all this fantastic jewelry for you to buy, and they can do custom designs, by the way, you just have to email them. But if you use our code in the description and our special link, it saves you 5% off your entire purchase, including upgrades, because you can upgrade to higher, carat counts of gold, or you can upgrade the band to platinum if you want. Those are options on most of their jewelry, and they get it to you typically after just a few weeks. All handmade from their facility. I'm telling you what, man. Oh, the other thing, the accent stones. Normally, on most of theirs, they're all different, so you just have to check out the specs. Normally, they're moissanite, but you can upgrade to lab-grown diamonds, should you choose. Personally, it's worth it to me, but I'm a bit of a snob. I know this comes as a surprise to all of you that watch Toon Talk. I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to jewelry, so yeah. I splurge. I splurge. Okay, I'm a snob, period. But I think that surprises people when they find out that I'm a jewelry nerd because first and foremost, I don't wear any. So it's fun.
But now you can wear some because we have this sponsor.
Oh, I bought an alexandrite ring that will be a gift at a certain point from them, and I will say,
for Justin, right?
Justin, I love you.
I
I've kept it in all this time. No, it's gonna be a gift.
Thank you. You will be great if Justin like thank you.
Pay an exorbitant amount of shipping of import tax on that, but all right, I'm not gonna say no.
Oh yeah, you're paying the import tax. I'm not made of money, but I will say when I got actually I'll just show it to you guys.
You guys are quiet. Just go to the fucking border. Nobody will stop you.
Well, no. So I'm just going to show everybody, just so you know I'm not. See, it said Molly. It's there. And I know it's really small for you guys. And it's also green right now, but.
That's what she said.
It's really green right now? That's what the Hulk said.
Really small for me.
Oh, it's a size 5. What do you want? But yeah, so I bought for him. I am a customer, and I cannot speak highly enough. I can't wait to buy more. Also, check out their sort of earth sets, which are really cool because there's a lot more of that like natural vibe that's popular in jewelry now. And I mean, they're priced well. So check out mollyjewelry.us.com. Use our link and promo code in the description. Save your 5%, and your Valentine's Day shopping is done. So now you can move on to other things. You're covered. You got it.
Now, if you get a ring and a candle,
that's a different sponsor.
is coming, and you might too.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. That's true. Well, while we're here.
And a ring. Now we're here. Come on, just knock it out the park.
StevieWicks.com. Get the little piece of your heart set too. Only $10. Get that in the ring. You'll be set for the entire year. You can even forget her birthday.
February 14th is coming. Maybe you could do it too. That's the new slogan too.
You know what?
Maybe you can do it too.
You can also forget the anniversary as well.
No. Well, wedding or dating. Well, no. Why would you buy the ring if you're going to do that?
You give them a ring. You use the candles, then you break up with her.
Oh, dude! I just thought of a superhero problem. Thank you, Molly Jewelry. What if you're a guy like Peter Parker, right? And I think this might have actually happened to him. What do you do if you just blow your entire wad on a really nice engagement ring, and then when you go to give it to her, she starts riding you about never being home, and like, where do you go? I don't even know where you go. Like, who is she? What's her name? Where's she from? Like, where are you going? And you're just like infuriated because you know that the city is only still standing because of you, and she's got the nerve to ride you about it.
That's why he dated Mary Jane, because Mary Jane is awesome. Because
Mary Jane's cool about it. I feel like in Invincible, that was the whole thing. She
Go
thought
get
that he
it,
was
Tiger.
cheating on her.
Okay, so about Invincible, because that is a very real life problem that happens in Invincible. There seems to be an Amber apology tour happening online, and I'm not here for it because I'm okay with her as a person, even though she's annoying for me. For some reason, Mark wants to be with her for a time. I don't get it. But when she drops the fact that she knew he was invincible and is still throwing the attitude, and he's like, "Why are you mad if you knew?" And she's like, "Because you lied." And he's like, "It's a secret identity." And I'm over here like, I'm like, Mark,
Now, let
I'm
me
in your
tell you
corner,
that
dude.
the secret identity, I was thinking about this a long time. The secret identity works in 1950s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Not anymore.
I was going to say, a lot of modern superhero stuff has done away with the secret identity. You'll notice a
Because
lot of modern superhero stuff has done that.
Like, it's pointless. The other day I was thinking, why do you have a secret identity, dude? It's like, why? Like,
Let's say
Bruce
the
Wayne
bad guy
could be
doesn't.
perfectly
It's so the bad
like
guy
as
doesn't
Batman.
hurt your friends or family.
Well, so
Like
it's
I
so they
say,
don't
like I say,
capture
Bruce
your.
Wayne could say, "I'm Batman." Fuck off. Who's gonna get close to the mansion? Who? He doesn't have friends. But Alfred, he doesn't. Because they're superheroes, they barely have friends. Like
I mean,
Superman.
Batman, I'll give you, but yeah, with Superman, with Spider-Man, at least it's so a maniac doesn't offer you a sadistic choice.
I
Well,
mean,
the
You
yeah,
know,
first
that's
thing that could
your
happen is that
girlfriend and the kid.
Doctor was gonna nail on May. Remember?
I mean, in most
They
versions,
were
he does.
dating.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
was
I
gonna
mean,
say the comic book he does.
like I don't like. All right, I'm Bruce Banner. I'm the Hulk. Go fuck yourself. Oh, what you gonna do? Make me angry?
well, if
Make
he's
me
got
angry.
if the Hulkster has a squeeze.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, think about it. Back in the day, the it will be a problem. I don't think it's a problem for anyone now. Yes, they're in danger,
Hawkeye.
but it's about Hawkeye. Okay, great. So
Well,
It's a problem for
also
Hawkeye.
he
back in the
doesn't know.
day,
They know who Hawkeye is. They don't know who his wife is. Two people know the wife. He will
Well, yeah, but in
didn't
2025,
see
that'd be
them.
real easy to figure out.
Not
well, I mean
necessarily,
that's
because he's been erased everything by the agency. I don't know.
it's
I just
true.
don't. I think it's unnecessary. I think it's
Also,
unnecessary.
I think modern Hawkeye doesn't have. Most people know he's Clint Barton. I don't think he has a secret. In the
Yeah,
comics, I think he did, but in the comics, he's a bad guy first. He shows up as a bad guy.
That's true. He is a government
Hank
operative in the
Hank Pym,
MCU at least.
Hank Pym, well known. Captain America, Steve Rogers, well known. If you think about it, there's a balance. I think that the ones that they want to hide it is more for a personal reason of don't want to come out.
It's the same reason Robbie Williams has a secret identity in the United States.
As a chimp.
A monkey as a team.
Well, no, I saw an interview with him, and that's, he's like, I moved to the States because I could go out when I wanted. And it was like it got so bad to the point where I kind of started getting insulted by it.
But it's
Yeah, but
funny because
that's pretty cool. Go ahead.
I keep seeing this genre of video that I almost sent Jake one of stitches on TikTok of people who were at one point where like the British people are like, I don't get this movie about this monkey guy. I don't understand why you don't know who Robbie Williams is. And the Americans are like, I don't get this movie about this monkey. And then the Stitch is just, guys, I have to admit it, I like the movie about the monkey. It's just cynical Americans being like, I don't know what to tell you. The movie's really good. Get off my back.
That was my reaction, and I went in there thinking like this is going to be awful, and then I watched it. I'm like, I like the movie about the monkey guy. I dig it.
Guys, nobody has to say thank you for forcing me to watch it. No one. You
I said, well, I don't know if I thank you. Thank you.
Maybe watch it. It was always on my list. It's just definitely on my list of
you
movies
haven't
I want to
watched
watch.
It?
No, I not yet. When it goes to digital, I definitely will.
Yeah, I think that we're gonna do way better.
Yeah, I would imagine so because so many people were just turned off by the chimp thing.
Because people are weird.
Movies are expensive.
Well, I mean,
and you gotta pick and choose.
To be fair, I still can't defend the chimp thing. I really can't.
Like
you don't have to have explanation for anything. For everything,
narratively, you do. You have to have an explanation for everything narratively.
No, that's not his. We're not going to talk about that. We're talking about superheroes, and we're already past the hour. So,
yeah.
Recommendations.
Oh, are we there already?
Yeah, dude.
Hold on, I have to mention one more issue just because it's in the thumbnail.
Okay.
Okay, so if the Flash is running on the street, is he technically susceptible? Is he under the jurisdiction of speed limits?
Yes. No, it's the Flash. Oh, okay, we disagree.
Oh,
no, he's the.
Discuss.
Do you expect the Batman to respect the speed limits?
Yeah. I mean, yes, if he doesn't have a siren, yeah. Under the law, I'm not saying he should. I think there should be a provision, but under the law,
legally, yes. Now, another superhero that doesn't have a secret identity is Barry Allen, and it's open. And his wife knows.
That's maybe now.
He very much has a secret.
Yeah, he very much has a secret identity.
No, sorry. In the comics, he hasn't had a secret identity in a long time. He's married, and everybody knows he's the Flash.
Well, that's stupid because Iris doesn't have any superpowers.
Iris is cool with that. Anyway,
the one. Yeah, sorry, I keep on.
That feels like lazy. That just feels like lazy writing to me.
The one that made me go, oh yeah, was when I watched the '90s Captain America, and I went, oh yeah, Captain America used to be a secret identity. Like to me, because I started with the MCU, everyone just knows Steve Rogers is Captain America. But oh yeah, this was a secret identity at one point. No, I don't think the Flash should be subject to speed limit laws.
I think that he could be legally, but nobody's gonna catch him to write him a ticket.
I think it's literally an issue of them just choosing not to enforce it because Flash, at least in most iterations I've seen, seems to be on pretty friendly terms with Central City PD.
Also, like, he's technically a cop.
Yeah.
He's in the force. Yeah.
Yeah. So they should just give him like one of the lights like they stick on the car, just have him stick it on his head.
Also, wait. Are we talking about the Flash that he can move so fast nobody can see him? Because that's technically a Flash. So he can move so fast that nobody would ever know. Are you going to be the cop to offer the Flash a citation? Well, sorry, Mr. Flash, you were going to clear 230 knots.
Okay, but here's the
much too.
Well, no, here's the problem with that though, and this is a very real concern. So if the Flash is going so fast that you cannot see him, the resulting sound wave would be devastating.
It will be devastating.
To everything is
true. Remember that the Speed Force, as everybody calls them, he can control the Speed Force waves around him. So that's what he controls.
See, that's lazy writing because physics says no.
Also, come on, dude, the guy slows down Mach 4. Of course physics don't apply.
Right, but you know what happens when a jet goes Mach 4?
Yeah.
It fucks shit up.
It's not the Flash.
I don't know. That seems like lazy writing to me. I'm just saying.
Recommendation, bitches. Come on.
All right. Who's going first?
Me. TV show. Superman and Lois.
Superman and Lois? That's progressive.
Superman and Lois. That's the name. Lois, not Luis.
You mean Lois?
You mean the
Lois?
DK
That's what
one?
I said, you fucking moron.
Superman and Lois.
And Lois. Sorry. Really good. The ending, it was really good when season 2 and 3 Doomsday is involved. Season 4 Lex Luthor is fantastic. It's a great cast. The first season is a little annoying because the psychological problems of one of his kids, and he's like always depressed, but it's pretty good. It's like have the good parts of Beverly Hills 90210 with like coming from Superman
Oh,
murdering somebody good writing.
She's
But
described the entire Arrowverse.
yeah, I like it a lot. I really like it a lot, and I highly recommend it.
but that's a problem.
HBO Max.
Yeah, you can't be a Kryptonian emo kid.
Well, the thing is, he's half human, so that's a mistake.
Of those Arrowverse shows, it's like the best ending point for that entire experience, that entire part of the popular culture, and B, it's the most standalone of those shows. Like Jordan's watching The Flash currently, and it hits a point where because those are such a multimedia experience, those shows become incomprehensible. So that one is really good about you can watch it all on its own. You don't need to watch any of the other shows. Like it's cannot praise it enough.
Recommendations, guys.
All
TV
right.
show or movie?
My television show, I think I've recommended it already, but I'm going to recommend it just to be safe. I mentioned it already. If you're a DC fan, especially, but if you just like good television, you really should watch Young Justice. And I'm going to tell you right now, because I had the same thought, get over the fact that it's animated because it is not a children's show.
You guys are picking excellent shows.
It is, especially the later seasons. By the time you get to, well, I guess not. Yeah, season 2. By the time you get to season 2, it has no semblance of a children's show at all. It starts out as kind of a teenager-y show, but it gets really heavy really fast, in a good way.
That really dark episode about the guy who sacrificed his sister for the sword. Oof.
Ooh, that's
dark.
rough. Oh, yeah. And then it's like seasons 3 and 4, which is weird because some people were complaining about it, and I will admit there are some elements that aren't they're not really problematic, but they just kind of made me scratch my head. And it's like I'm not necessarily against this, but the way you did it narratively just makes me kind of go, why? But it's not it's not enough to ruin the show at all. It's still very good.
But it went to HBO Max, and some of the HBO Max stuff in Canada, the licensing is weird. So I think Netflix.
Just get a VPN.
I mean, you can do that.
I'm amazed at how easy that was, honestly.
Justin, do you have a TV show recommendation?
I do have a TV show. I started watching because again we're doing cloning this week. I watched Orphan Black. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
I've heard of
that show. It's
I never heard about it. What is it about?
Tatiana Maslany. She plays Sarah, a woman who discovers that she is a clone, and it is basically I don't want to give too much away, but it's a mystery about like who's doing the cloning, who's the original. It's kind of a slow burn mystery. You discover new clones. The performance is amazing. She plays every single clone completely differently. The effect of them all being in the same room and talking to each other is really good. The performances are good. It's Canadian, so as a Canadian, I have to recommend it on that basis. And if you feel like a good mystery science fiction, it's really good. Totally worth checking out. Again? Orphan Black.
And where we can watch it?
I don't know. I have it on Crave. I'm not sure where it would be in America.
Yeah, well, usually it's HBO or Netflix is what.
Crave has, it's Canadian produced, so maybe
you can. If you are in the United States, you can watch it on AMC Plus or Philo.
There you go.
Really? Oh, okay.
There you go. Movie. You got anyone has a movie recommendation?
I do.
I do.
Go for it, Virus Vox.
Real
movie
Pain.
watching so and so.
Jesse Eisenberg and Karen Culkin. Sorry. It's a really good independent movie. Good. They're funny. They're sentimental. They're emotional. So I highly recommend it. A Real Pain. It just got released yesterday in Hulu. It was in the theaters in the fall. Sadly, they didn't have too much exposure because it was an independent movie. But it got released yesterday on Hulu. So if you have Disney, you can watch it.
That's the one that he directed, right?
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg directed.
He's not in it though, right?
Yeah, he's in it.
Oh, he's in it. Oh, okay.
And Kieran just won the Golden Globe because of this movie. So
Yeah, it's
best
on my
supporting
list.
actor. Yeah, it's really good.
Why didn't they just get Kieran Culkin for Home Alone 3?
They were gonna.
That would be fantastic.
That's a fun fact. They were gonna get Kieran Culkin for Home Alone 3 because Kieran
That's
Culkin,
right. You're the one who
he's in
told me
Home
that.
Alone 1. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
in Home
he is.
Alone 1.
He's Fuller, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's
the little annoying brother.
Yeah, he's the cousin who's going to pee the bed and then smile. Yeah, they were going to make he looks just like Macaulay Culkin when they were kids. They like look identical, and yeah, he was going to be
Is the one that
be
eats
in the
the
third
last
one.
pizza that is not vegan.
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
the vegan
And it was
pizza.
because he looked like Macaulay Culkin. Yeah, he was going to be in the third one. Yeah.
Is that why they gave him glasses? Because he looks so much like Macaulay Culkin?
I think so. Yeah.
That would make sense.
He's a better actor. He's a better actor, and he listens to his mama a little more.
You shut your whore mouth.
He's a better actor than Macaulay Culkin for sure.
In Home Alone?
No, in general.
In general.
Okay. I was going to say in Home Alone, that is a false
he got
statement.
Like 3 Golden Globes, Academy Award nomination. The guy in this show in HBO, what is the name of the HBO? The rich family that owns.
It's that show on HBO.
Bridgerton?
No, what you guys say? You cut out everything.
It's that show on HBO.
Yeah, but I don't remember the name. All the time
is it Bridgerton? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
No. It's Succession.
Succession. Oh. See, anytime you can say to a celebrity, "Wait, they're related to that person," that means that the career stands out enough on there. Like Elizabeth Olsen. Oh yeah, she's related to the Olsen twins. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or my personal favorite, when Woody Harrelson found out that Liam Hemsworth and Chris Hemsworth were related. That's a funny clip.
Yeah. Oh gosh, though, talk about laughing all the way to the bank. I can only imagine the number of years that it's Elizabeth Olsen, right? That's her name?
Yeah.
I can only imagine the years when they were younger where Elizabeth Olsen was basically always the Olsen that didn't matter. And now she's fucking Wanda Maximoff.
Right? It's just weird. People
I never liked her as Wanda the first movie, but then I really liked it after the first one.
Yeah. So, my movie recommendation, in keeping with tonight's theme, if you haven't seen it yet, it's a gnarly one. Justice League Dark. Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
That's also good.
Well, I recommend it. I recommend it because Superman loses his powers in that movie.
And how he loses his powers, the cool thing, can I say it how? They tattoo.
I mean, yeah, that's not ruining the movie, yeah.
They tattoo the Superman logo with kryptonite.
Yeah.
So it's infecting his face. So cool how they do it.
Oh man, and I'm not ruining this movie for you when I tell you everybody dies.
Oh yeah, I pitched it as
you gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it. It's gnarly.
It's Endgame if Endgame were 1,000 times more violent.
And just like so bad. It's so bad. And it's actually the only movie other than the live action with Keanu Reeves, it's the only movie that I like.
Somebody's knocking at my door, so hold a second.
Yeah, it's the only movie with Constantine in it that I like. Other than the Keanu Reeves Constantine.
I love Matt Ryan as Constantine. To me, Matt Ryan as Constantine is like one of those like synonymous with the role type actors, kind of like your Hugh Jackman as Wolverine or your Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, where like he's so good. Like he's basically been Deadpool since that NBC show. He played not Deadpool, Constantine. He played Constantine all the way through the Arrowverse. He came back a bunch of times to play him in all of those movies. Like it's always been that one actor. He's so good as Constantine. Like he's just genuinely really good.
Movie Justin.
So last week we did time travel, and I rewatched The Butterfly Effect.
Ooh.
And that movie, in my opinion, is underrated, severely underrated.
It wasn't. I would make the case that it wasn't at the time because it was big when it came out, but it did kind of get forgotten.
Ashton Kutcher. he was still mid Kelso, and he took a lot of like he can't do serious dramas. And I will acknowledge that that movie does get kind of melodramatic with the backstory a tad. But yeah, it's a solid time travel movie, and the secondary character performances, Amy Smart, and in particular, oh, I can never remember the actor's name, but he was in the Netflix Daredevil show as Foggy Nelson.
Yes.
As
Yeah.
he's so good in that movie.
He's
Like
so good.
there's so many scenes where he's like, "It should be you." Yeah, it's just so good. It's such a good movie.
Yeah,
One of my favorites.
it's a good.
I grew up reading. Do you guys remember when they used to take scripts from movies and turn them into books?
Yes.
Yes, I read the book first, the book before I watched the
The
movie,
book.
and I actually like the book better.
You like the book better than the movie?
Yeah, it goes into.
Good.
Is it not based on a book, or is it was just a script?
It was one of those ones where they took like the early draft script, so
Yeah.
it goes into like more detail about some of the bad stuff. But yeah, it's quite good.
All right, so we got music and weird. What did you got, Virus Vox?
Well, weird. I have Captain Carrot. DC presents a multiverse when it's a combination of Superman and Bugs Bunny, and it's Captain Carrot. It's funny to read. It's really weird. It's called Captain Carrot. It's just a special one. It's really funny. He got Daffy Dog, but his name here is I don't remember the name, but it's really funny. It's really funny. It's super weird, but if you want to have a
Huh,
laugh, you can watch it.
huh.
Huh. My weird.
Hmm.
I touched on this. I can't remember when. It was like the mid. It was after 2010, but I can't remember the exact year. But it's been a little while ago. HBO did a documentary just called Superheroes, and what they do is they follow around those real life vigilantes that we're talking about. And the movie has a lot of kind of like funny parts, but it has a few really sincere moments too. One of which I never. It really actually touched me when this happened because right in the middle of all the silliness of people running around in tights, fighting. But a lot of these people are doing really, really good things too, like helping out the homeless. And then there's one hero in there. I can't remember his name, but he's kind of just like a real normal skinny dude. But he also just so happens to be a trained paramedic. And something happens when he's out on patrol, and he, because of his abilities, is able to legitimately help a homeless man that injured himself, and they get him to a hospital. And there's a moment where they're outside, and he's just like, I don't remember exactly what he says, but something to the effect of like, like this is what it's really all about. If I can help one person, then it's all worth it.
Huh.
And I'm like, you know what? I kind of wish they hadn't spent the entire movie making fun of these people. Granted, they kind of do it
Hmm.
to themselves because some of it's a little on the silly side, but I mean, yeah, it's got some genuine heart. It's a genuinely good documentary. It's entertaining, and since
It's in
HBO did it,
HBO.
yeah, it's in HBO, so
Okay.
you
Huh.
can find
I
it.
gotta make a correction before I let Justin say his recommendation. I say Bugs Bunny, no, I mean Roger Rabbit and Superman together with Captain
Huh.
Carrot.
But
So
doesn't
in
Disney own the rights to Roger Rabbit?
no, it's Warner. I think it's Warner. But the cool thing
I
about
don't
this is
think
his
so.
height is 2'6". He's this big.
Huh.
That's pretty cool. Anyway, I let you do your thing, Justin. So
Yeah,
we
my
did.
weird one is well, I guess we're talking superheroes. I recommend a weird superhero comic, one of my all-time favorite Superman comics, which was written by John Cleese, and it's a what if comic. What if Superman landed in Britain? And it's genuinely very funny. He winds up being a paparazzi guy, and his nemesis is a man with a cricket bat sticking out of his chest. And it ends with him coming to America as an immigrant, and it's really funny. I cannot remember what it's called off the top of my head, but if you just look up Superman John Cleese, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. But it's really funny.
So it's
Apparently, lots of
just.
people.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say people consider it to be one of the worst Superman things ever written, so that's why I love it.
Okay, of course.
Much like Mystery Men, they probably don't understand that it's supposed to be funny. It's John Cleese. Like,
Exactly, yeah, it's written by John Cleese. It's supposed to be funny.
yeah. So it sounds like just a comedic Red Sun.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Yeah.
Red Son's legitimately good. I like
Red
it.
Son is legitimate. The comic's way better though than the movie.
I
Don't
can
read the
see
comic.
that.
Don't watch the movie. I mean, watch the movie. It's pretty good.
The
The
movie's
comic's
good.
way
I
better.
enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, the comic is. Yeah, I mean, my favorite. One of my all-time favorite Batman. Batman in the stupid hat.
Russian Batman.
Russian Batman.
I am vengeance.
Vengeance. I mean,
All right. Music. Do you guys have music today?
I'm sorry. I'm really proud of that joke.
It's really good. I want to talk about in December 4th, uh, Marilyn Manson released a new single. It's been a while. The name is
what?
Sacrifice of the Mass. It's a dark song. It's not bad. It's not good, but for all the, not for me, but for all the Marilyn Manson fans, I mean, he's back. So that's pretty cool. I think that for a stupid reason that I still don't understand, I'm just going to let it go. After COVID, it's like the music reset itself. It doesn't matter if you're 70 or 4, you can just go and release an album. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he dated Mandy Moore randomly?
Really?
No.
That was a
I didn't know,
wild
but
time.
yeah,
That was a
I didn't
wild
know
time.
that.
And like Mandy Moore was big. It wasn't like before she hit it. Like that was an interesting
Huh.
time.
I'm looking at the picture. She doesn't look big, bro. She looks. Woo! Woo!
No, I
Like, she
mean
looks good.
star big.
Oh, I thought you mean big.
No, I
Yeah,
don't think Mandy Moore's ever really been all that big.
I think in a
No.
while after the show Entourage, she went a little biggy, but probably she was pregnant. I don't know. Don't trust me, but she was
Maybe.
great. She was looking good.
I just thought she was
She
like
did
really
a lot
big.
of uh, she did a lot of cool people, hot people. Marilyn Manson. I mean, fame does a lot of things, right?
Yeah, but they
I
sang
swear.
together at the 118th
Did
American
they
Music
actually?
Awards. Yeah, that was back in the. That was
I
a wild time. That was a
I
wild
just
time to be allowed.
I just thought that she was like crazy famous, and then it just seemed like she disappeared just to come back and do Tangled. Like it was just like, oh, it's Mandy Moore's back. Oh, she's doing Tangled.
She's one of those people in Hollywood that I don't because I understand why you say that. She never really left, but yeah, she definitely had a peak. It's funny because she had a music peak and then she had a film peak and then yeah, she kind of just and now she pops up because she did This Is Us and that was kind of a resurgence for her too on television. But
True.
yeah,
True. I forgot about
You
that. Yeah.
just to go back to Marilyn Manson, she dated e- even Rachel Wood, and then she dated Dita Von Teese and Rose McGugan. Have you seen these girls, guys?
No, I mean, girls like a
Dita
goth
Von
guy. What
Teese
can I
is
say?
like a Hollywood actress from the 30s.
yeah,
You know, like super gorgeous.
yeah.
I never seen these girls before.
You know what?
Uh,
I'm gonna be honest though. If you can fathom it, I can totally understand assuming the person's not just a giant dick, which I don't think Marilyn Manson is. I can see if you're in
well, if that's
Hollywood.
what he'll date, then
Well, I mean, personality
he's
wise,
good.
I can see that if you're in Hollywood, as an actor or actress, I can see how dating someone like that would be
It's good
like,
for your career.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it's not just good for your career. It's also probably a little good for your soul too, because like it's different. So
Yeah,
that's
I get it, but you know that he dated Lana Del Rey?
really,
Yeah, I'm in shock because I never Googled this before. He dated Lana Del Rey in 2012.
did he actually?
oh, so this will make you laugh. I just now, like, and by now I mean like 2 days ago, realized that Saraya, or better known as Paige, I guess she's not retired, the professional wrestler. I knew that she had a musician for a husband. I just now
Yeah.
realized it's Ronnie from Falling in Reverse because he has a song called Bad Guy featuring Saraya, and I just now made the connection like 2 days ago. Even though I've heard her refer to
Huh.
her husband, Ronnie, as a musician several times in interviews and podcasts, and I
Yeah.
just now, but I felt so stupid.
Hmm.
But music, my
Music.
my song recommendation is "Waiting for Superman" by Daughtry.
I never heard that song before.
You'd like it. It's a legitimately good song. It's not like super hard, but it's a good song. And vocally, it showcases his talent a lot in that song. Restrained belting is the best way I can
put it. He's a really good singer. He's a really good singer. One of the best, to be honest.
Yeah,
he doesn't have the recognition that he deserved, but he's one of the best.
Oh, he did. Singers. He did back in the day, but he's still doing it for sure.
He's still doing it like even better than before. But okay, music, Justin.
This is a music recommendation. Get it forever. I recommend get it forever.
There you go.
Blame Canada.
From Canada. I rewatched it. I guess it's also kind of weird, but I rewatched Bat Metal the other night. Bat Metal Forever. So I'm going to recommend Awaken by Deathlock. Nice. and also go watch Bat Metal Forever because that video is genuinely very funny. My favorite bit is just where they've done this really like smooth animation of I think it's Nightwing doing the guitar solo as he just ogles over Batgirl. It's genuinely so fun. It's so funny. It's a very fun video.
Hey, there's a normal problem. How pissed was Dick Grayson when Barbara broke up with him and then started canoodling Bruce? That must have been a rough.
That was a thing I thought about when I was watching. I think it was Batman and Robin, where I went, Dick is such a 1950s name. You would never call a child Dick in 2025. You just
not these days, no, but
you just wouldn't.
Maybe
some people will do it tongue in cheek because they just want to be able to look at their kid and be like, Dick.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Dick is a diminutive from Richard.
Yes. Yeah. That's my all-time favorite memes is Starfire asking Robin how do you get Dick from Richard, and Robin responds, "You ask nicely."
That was pretty good.
One of my favorite stories from I went to high school with a guy named Anthony, and it still is, because I mean he still is really funny. But this story happened when we were in 7th grade. And he went through a period where he just came up with like 3 or 4 really great zingers that year. And one of them was because, we're in middle school and we discover swear words and they're every other word. So he was calling somebody a dick in class, and the teacher rightfully got onto him and said language. And he said, fine, he's a Richard. and that became a thing until we graduated high school.
Yeah, of course.
He's over here being a Richard.
That's amazing. That's really funny.
My favorite, the first one was he said something sucks, and I think it was the same teacher said, he's like, you watch your language. He said, fine, that inhales violently.
That guy's a creative guy.
He is. He's witty. He's witty.
Guys, it's been a pleasure. We've been in front of the computer for 9 hours? I've been in front of the computer today.
Today you have, yeah.
Love you both. It's always a pleasure to have fun with you. Thank you for the audience. Please, thank you for being in the show, Justin. Please keep sharing and connecting. And I don't like you, Jake. I'm done with you, bro.
I'm talking to Justin, Dick. I'm Richard. I'm talking to Justin, Richard.
Well, Richard?
When you say Richard, I need you to bow.
No.
All right, guys. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the audience. See you next Tuesday. You remember the joke that I told you last week? You remember the joke that I told you last week?
Yeah.
Jake, can you say it? Do you remember?
I don't remember it word for word. I know. I think he does. I think he did it on purpose.
What?
Okay, maybe he doesn't.
I don't think he does.
See you next Tuesday is a covert way to say the C word. See you next Tuesday.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that. To all the female fans of the show, see you next Tuesday.
No, that's a great American dad joke when he's like, "Now, honey, I'll have to call you back. Boss is being a real catch you next Tuesday."
You ready, guys? And roll them up.